I have Ingram Councilman Ray Howard with me. The councilman was actually in his home the night of July 3rd, early morning into July 4th when the flooding hit. And Councilman, thank you for joining me. We've been keeping you in our prayers. We know you've been dealing with a lot, and I know you've been very vocal and outspoken ever since the tragedy that occurred. You said that you were in your house actually the night of the floods. Do you want to take us through what it was like that morning?
Well, about 1:15 or somewhere around there, I got the first National Weather Service alert saying a flash flood possibility. And unfortunately, like most people, I sort of just said, oh, okay, well, we get those. But hour or so later, I got another one. I turned my phone on and went to my radar and was checking it out, and I could see that there was a storm cell just sitting up in the upper reaches of the South Fork of the Guadalupe River, and it was just sitting there pumping out one storm after another. So I thought to myself, this could be bad. And then the third one went off about 4:15 or 4:20, somewhere around that area. And I got up, opened up the front door, and it was already full blown. I mean, all I could see was water, and ran across the streets to my neighbors, banging on their doors, waking them up. And Ingram Volunteer Fire Department was rolling through the neighborhood about that time with sirens and the megaphone going, telling everybody to evacuate. So they did their job fantastic. Um, I can swing around here, and right in the background, right there, is the river. Right there,
Wow.
that's the river. So there's an RV park that's right here, just straight out and down the river, just a short ways. It was a perfect storm. It sat right over top. And it was the worst time of night that it could have happened, because everybody was sound asleep. People from all over Texas come here to camp. It was full. It was completely full, and there is nothing there. All the RVs, all the little tiny houses that they brought in for people that didn't have RVs to camp, they're all gone. Everything's gone.
Were there people in those places that
Oh,
were?
they were full. Yeah, they were all rented out. And the night, Thursday night, Howdy's little restaurant bar, they had music going, celebration, 4th of July weekend starting, and everybody was dancing and having a good time. And then hours later, they were washed away.
Do you know if any of those people made it, if they were okay, or were they not
There
recovered?
were Friday morning, there were a bunch of people that were plucked out of the trees that I think were the campers that were out here on the island. Before the sun came up, I saw a camper going by with the lights on inside the camper, and the whole family the thing was sort of floating half, sunk in the back, and it was floating upright. And I could see the family screaming for help. They had punched the window out, but they hadn't gotten out of the camper. And they were so far out in the fast current, there was just nothing you could do. All I could do is call the sheriff's department and tell them that there's people floating down the river. And we evacuated, took our dogs and stuff up to our church, and then I came back down to start seeing what I could do, what I could help with. And I pulled back out onto our property that's overlooking the river right there. Just about at that time, I saw a young boy floating by, screaming for help, and it was like, again, I can't do anything. I don't have the strength. I'm dealing with cancer, so I just didn't. I felt helpless. I couldn't do anything for the boy except yell for him to try to grab a tree, try to grab something. And seconds later, he was gone. So it's it like I said, it's heartbreaking what happened so fast too.
Do you know if that little boy made it?
I have no idea what's downstream. I fish this river a lot. there are huge cypress trees all over the place, and the river sort of meanders down through all those trees. So I'm sure that camper was just ripped apart. I'm sure unless that boy was able to grab a tree, I would hope that he could hear this message. And he saw me, I saw him, we made eye contact. I would love to be able to go give him a hug, knowing that he grabbed a tree and he was rescued. That would make that would make me feel a lot better because there was nothing I could do. Absolutely nothing I could do. So it just, and that was just one little story of the hundreds of people that got washed away. And
It's weighing really heavy on you, huh?
yeah, I mean, especially the little boy, and I could see the fear in his face, and he was getting swept by so fast. I know what it feels like to be in water like that because I've done high rescue uh, uh, training with the volunteer fire department back when I was, like I said, back when I was a young man. I'm not that anymore. So I know what it feels like to be in that water, and you're helpless. You can only swim with it and slowly angle to get out of it. But you got to swim with it. And if there's anything in the way, you're just going to get wrapped up in it, and then everything else is this is catastrophic here. I mean, the loss of life, the loss of property can be replaced. That's not a big deal. At our city hall, I'm trying to make sure I put it on the agenda for the next meeting, which is July 21st, to have to bring this early warning system up for Ingram. I can't do anything about Kirk County, but I can do what I can for our constituents in Ingram. A early warning system, sirens, whatever. It's just one more tool that we can use. Sound tool, a siren to get people to get out of the way of the water. I'm glad to see that Governor Abbott and President Donald Trump will give. They keep saying they're going to give us everything we need to make sure this doesn't happen again. So I'm going to hold them to that.
Do you think that had you guys had sirens, that could have saved lives at the time?
It was 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, uh, maybe if it saved just a couple, if just a couple people wake up and start screaming and start yelling, start blowing their horn and banging on doors, that could just be the catalyst to getting more people up and moving. Yeah, I think it would work. I think it would definitely help. We know it helps in tornado alleys when the sirens go off, and that can be late at night too. People hear it and they run for shelter. In this case, run for high ground. So that's what I'm going to push for. And I've got support from the other council members already. And we just need to get funding. We're a little teeny town. We don't have a lot of money.
So in the past, you would have just relied on the county, but right now you're saying you're not gonna wait for the county, you're gonna bypass all that and just do your own thing?
Well, we're gonna get the ball going in Ingram for sure. I know that the city, county commissioners are already talking about it again, and they're gonna. This time it looks like we're gonna get the funding. Everybody's gonna get the funding, but I want our people in Ingram to understand that the city, the city council, and the mayor in Ingram are concerned about their safety, and we want that. We don't ever want this to ever happen again.
I guess my question is this something that you as a city had discussed before July 4th? Because we know that the county commissioners had discussed it and the plan to bring in that early, that warning system. So you as a city, is this something that you also took up before? Or is this gonna be the first time?
No, not that I, not that I've been on on the city council, and I've been on there for my third term. So no, it's been nothing that we've ever mentioned.
So then let me ask you this, knowing that the commissioners had discussed this in the past, I know people have been pointing fingers and a lot of blame going around, but I know the focus right now, we want to, focus on obviously the recovery efforts, and this is a really difficult time for everyone, but people have been also saying, we want some accountability, we want to know what happened at least. Do you feel like, do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, when I first heard about how many county commissioner meetings there was talked about the warning system, I was pretty shocked. And later on, I found out more information, and that information was they did try to implement early warning systems, and they were trying to get funding, and they were denied funding from the different agencies that they had put in for. So that's what it all comes down to. I was a little harsh at first, when I first made some comments about it. And it's like, why didn't this get done? They did try to get funding and they did get denied, but hopefully now we won't get denied and all of us will get what we need to make this river. They call it the flash flood alley or whatever.
Mhm.
This needs to be rectified so that this never happens again.
I know you mentioned that you definitely want to be at every county commissioners meeting from now on. What kind of questions do you have for county officials after this tragedy? What would you personally like to be answered?
So why did it take so long for Code Red to be sent out? It was, I guess, like 6 hours later after the flood that it finally went out.
Is that when you got your code red?
Yeah, I mean, Code Red is to tell everybody that's in the area, to give them notice what's going on. All I know is I got the National Weather Service warnings. I never got a Code Red. But since then, I've gotten a couple Code Red since on my phone. So now it works. I don't know.
Yeah, so now you're questioning if there was actually a human error or failure versus the actual system, since now suddenly it works. It's been raining the last several days and people have gotten alerts.
Yeah, that's going to be stuff that needs to be investigated for sure,
So
and that'll come later.
You would like to see an investigation?
I would like to find out what happened. Absolutely. The families want to know what happened. We still got to give the families time and respect that their loved ones, a lot of them are still missing. So that's something needs to be talked about later. We need to focus on getting everybody found.
So realistically speaking, do you feel like the city of Ingram can move forward with a plan on their own outside of the county? Do you think that you'd be able to bypass the county and actually implement your own system as soon as you can?
If the town of Comfort can come up with the money to put their own early warning system on their volunteer fire department there, I think we can probably do that. Yes.
What are you thinking? How do you think you guys will be able to secure that funding? Do you have any ideas?
I think we could probably get donations if it actually came down to that, because there's enough people right now that are in shock about all this. And maybe this will be a catalyst to start this on other rivers that are susceptible to this too. Because this is just not us. I mean, in the news, you got Rio Dosa that just got wiped out. You got the Llano River that just got a whole bunch of rain down and they're missing people over there. Wimberley was taken out in 2015. I mean, so these systems need to be implemented on major rivers that are susceptible to this. And of course, everybody's building closer and closer. They want to get closer to the river. If you're in a flood area, maybe more regulations on building.
Do you have an estimate on how much it would cost to get a system like that for the city of Ingram?
Well, I can only go by what I was told that what it cost for the Comfort Volunteer Fire Department. They came up with $20,000 to get a siren put up. That's not a lot of money. Now get that with a warning system that's going to be put in the river. That's where you're going to get some more fun. You're going to cost more.
You having lived there for 17 years, you know the area very well and what kind of challenges you have ahead of you. So in a perfect world, what do you think would be the best warning system that could be implemented? Is the signal out in that area, cell phone signal good. I know in Hunt, there were complete dead areas, and that's one of the things I heard is people didn't even have a cell phone signal. So is that something that you're thinking about as well? Maybe more cell phone towers and accessibility to more cell phones signal?
If it takes cell phone towers or if it takes satellite phones network to be used for all those upper reaches. Yeah, because once you get past Hunt, phones don't really work. They don't work up there. Cell phones don't work up there. I mean, I know that because I fish up there a lot, and I'd keep in contact with my wife, and I'd have to wait till I'm driving past Hunt to let her know I'm on my way back home. So yeah, if it takes cell phone towers, great. If it takes getting systems like Starlink or something and all the camps, hey, that would be another thing that would be instant. You know, we could get everybody notified immediately that way.
So what kind of questions do your constituents want answered after this tragedy?
I know that a lot of Ingram people here in town have been wondering where we've all been. I've been running, like I said, I've been running like crazy, and I've been doing a lot of TV interviews. The mayor has been up with his heavy equipment looking for victims. First, he was looking for, trying to rescue people. Now it looks like we're all into recovery now. That's what he's been doing. Other city council member, his place was wiped out. It's destroyed. It's gone. Uh, he lived a lot closer to the river, and the others have been helping what they can do. And so I'm one of them that's retired too. So I got plenty of time.
Have you been out there at all searching or helping? I know you said you don't want to push yourself because you're dealing with cancer right now.
Well, I've been doing what I can, and that's been delivering stuff for the equipment operators, bringing fuel pumps so they can transfer pumps so they can fill up the heavy equipment. I've been doing what I can do at City Hall. Right now, there's the City Hall. We're just letting everybody, all the rescuers, do their thing. That's what we're doing right now. I've been out of it. I just got back out of the hospital. I ran myself ragged, um, doing everything I could for days, and I was in the hospital for 4.5 days, and I just got out. So